George Pickens, the only thing that worries me a little bit is because he's a little bit of a diva, a little bit of a malcontent to a certain extent. But, I mean, that's most receivers that you kind of deal with on a regular basis in the NFL. Right. Friends, countrymen, fellow degenerates, welcome back to this episode of Bets and Buds. We are the Buds helping you cash your bets. I am Jason Smoking Token.
I'm Bobby Light.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. We are in the throes of the playoffs here. A little heartbreak here in St. Louis from the last time we spoke to you guys. But we're still going here with Cardinals baseball. The association's going up and heating up very well. NHL is popping off. Big trade in the NFL with our local Cowboys going on here. So we'll dive into all that action for you guys today. What's up, Bobby Light?
What's going on, brother? How we doing?
You know what? The sun is shining and rain has stopped finally again for a little bit anyway.
Yeah, for a little bit.
For a little bit. I mean, we're going off and on, April showers bring May flowers, and May flowers are still bringing us more fucking rain.
Right,
so,
more rain.
That's what it is.
All right, so where you want to start off? Well, we might as well just kick that dog right
Yeah, let's go ahead and kick that bird down the road here. So, like the Blues with a heartbreaker. Probably one of the more memorable heartbreaks that we'll have for a long time.
Ranks right up there with the Eiserman goal.
Yes, ranks up there with the Eiserman goal. The Dinkinger bad blown call with the Royals. I mean, this is like one of those epic St. Louis heartbreaks. 1.6 seconds away from advancing. Advancing to the next round. But you know what? They're a year ahead of schedule.
They
weren't supposed to be here. Team looks good as far as the nucleus that they built very well going forward. So, you know what? I'll let you go ahead and dive in that, Bobby, because you spent a lot more time in the hockey world than I do.
Oh, yeah. No, the Blues are definitely set on the right path. With their infusion of youngsters that they added this year, Snuggerud obviously coming out of college, and then you've still got Dvorsky in the wings, and Steinberg, and
Bolduc.
Bolduc is just now cracking, his potential.
Right.
He's going to have another year invested.
Matt
this
Kessel.
team is going to be scary next year.
Yes, I think they're going to be dangerous. They're going to be a dangerous team. I see them as a 4 seed at worst, I think, next year.
Yeah, I mean, they they make a few tweaks here with probably, I doubt, because Fosca's a free agent. He might come back, but you never know.
I mean, I see them. I mean, they're pretty much got a very little turnover, I think, on the roster.
What we have to worry about right now is Hofer is a restricted free agent, and he's a good young goalie.
Right.
He's actually a damn good young goalie.
It's
does somebody come in and pull a Doug Armstrong on the Blues this year?
Right, exactly.
And hit him with a 5-year, wicked deal that the Blues just can't match for a backup goaltender.
Absolutely. I mean, you know what? I can see it happening, but
it could happen. But with the Holloway news and everything, he was obviously not coming back for the playoffs because he had surgery and they never even said anything about it.
You gotta love hockey,
and they're still not saying where he had the surgery. So
you gotta love hockey, man. You do. These guys go through with these injuries. It's not until after the season's over where you find out. Yeah, he was playing with 8 cracked ribs. Yeah. Torn spleen.
So to go around the league, the Blues are really good, and they're going to be good for a long time.
Yes.
So to go around the league, we've got Dallas up 1-0 on Winnipeg, which I think Dallas St. Louis been in a far better series than this is going to turn out to be. Mikko Rantanen is on a tear in the last 2 games, 2 hat tricks. It's just unbelievable.
Former Avalanche.
He knocked the Avalanche out in their game 7, single-handedly knocked them out.
Yeah, now was it back-to-back hat tricks?
Back-to-back hat tricks in the playoffs. So, and then Edmonton had an interesting game again. Got down 2-0 to the Vegas Golden Knights, and then come storming back to win that one. So they're up 1-0 in that series. And then this is the one that's actually surprised me. I know because now they go to Florida. Florida has a chance, but Florida's down 2-0.
2-0 against Toronto, man. So I mean, if Toronto loses this series, that'd be another one of those epic collapses.
It would be one of the epic Toronto collapses.
And if anybody could do it to them, it'd be the Panthers.
Yes, but with the way that one's going, it looks like Toronto has a damn good chance to go on to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in a while. And then the other series is Carolina-Washington. Carolina just stifled Washington the other night. Washington's going to have to dig a little deeper, play a little harder, and hopefully make a series out of this.
Which Carolina is favored in this series going into it.
They were. The other big news in hockey today, Joel Quenneville has been hired by the Anaheim Ducks.
No. Wow.
Yes. Wow. Joel Quenneville is getting a second chance on his career. Obviously, everybody knows about what happened with the Blackhawks and sexual abuse and all that stuff. So that's I mean, he didn't perpetrate it. He might have known about it, but everybody gets their second chance. This is Quinville. So welcome back to the NHL, Joe Quinville.
I guess at the end of the day, though, too, as well, like we talk about with hockey, like coaching matters in a lot of sports, but like we talk to a lot of hockey guys and they say, coaching in hockey only does so much. Right. So the biggest thing I think you build in hockey is the culture of the locker room. The clubhouse, locker room, whatever you want to call it. Because the fact that, there's so many moving parts, I think we talked about last week, that it's really hard to control the game as a man coaching hockey.
Even with all the crazy things that were going on in that Chicago locker room, they still won 3 cups. Yeah. So the guy can coach, that's for sure. Anaheim knocked that one out of the park.
Hey, the Mets won the World Series in '86 when they were all coked up like that.
Right.
That's kind of.
Hey, the Cardinals were the same way in '85.
Oh yeah,
82, 85, something. One of those seasons.
Probably both. Cocaine's a hell of a drug, and it was running rampant in the '80s for sure. We all saw Scarface.
Oh yeah. So, yeah, that's the NHL news. Hockey's in full swing.
All right, so we'll dive into the association now. Okay. So, the NBA has been popping off very well, very exciting. Some very surprises. We'll go to the East, so they're going first. So, the Celtics are down 2-0 against the Knicks right now. 45 threes being missed in pretty much both games, essentially, damn near.
It's ugly shooting. That's for damn.
You live by the 3, die by the 3, and I think the last game, they said the Celtics missed 40 plus threes being open, like wide open threes. Wide open threes in the NBA, just so you know, statistically wise, since everything's a stat-based thing now, analytic-based thing now, means you were open by 6 feet of nobody guarding you. And that's how many threes they missed. So, which is ugly. But again, they barely lost those games. So, essentially, you can't think of them losing, but the Garden is going to be buzzing.
Oh, man. Yeah, the Garden's going to be buzzing.
The Garden, with the Knicks being up 2-0, the Garden's going to be buzzing. So, it's going to be hard for the Celtics because all the Knicks really essentially have to do to put that pressure on the Celtics
serve in one of the games.
At least win one of the games. Yeah. Yes, at least win one of the games. Jalen Brunson has been a beast. He's been a closer. He's been finishing and burying teams and being very clutch in the fourth quarter. I think averaging 13 points in fourth quarter performances. So he's been dominating very well. Then you got the Indiana Pacers had gone up 2-0 on the Cavaliers.
Taking it to Cleveland.
Yeah, Tyrese
Cleveland's
Halliburton.
a really young team, though.
They're a young team, and they also got some injuries they're dealing with too as well. Kind of like a lot of times that people are saying that's what the Pacers dealt with last year. That the Knicks weren't healthy when they played them. So the Pacers going through right now, and they're kind of dominating them. Well, I won't say dominating them, but Tyrese Halliburton is playing amazing basketball right now. Amazing basketball. So the Pacers being up 2-0 there. So, those are kind of two surprises that nobody was really anticipating in either one of those series.
I didn't expect them to be going that way. 1-1, maybe 2-0
because when they won the first game, you thought, okay, Cleveland get the next one, get a split. But, right now to be up 2-0, both teams to be up 2-0, beat both road teams to get 2 road wins there.
That's crazy.
That's huge. It's huge leg up for both of those teams. So the next up, you got 1-1 in series tie right now for the Nuggets and the who we got
OKC.
Here? Yeah, OKC.
But that was a blowout.
Oh yeah, OKC showed. They flexed up. So the Nuggets got that game 1 victory, last second shot by Aaron Gordon, which was a huge victory for them. But OKC showed their depth and showed
149 points.
No, they showed their depth and they showed their power, man. They're going to be a tough team to knock out. To beat them 4 times in a 7-game series is going to be tough for anybody. So we'll see what happens going forward there. But that series should be. I still see it going 6 or 7 games. Either way it goes, I still see it going 6 or 7 games. And then the last one we got there was the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Golden State Warriors. So the Golden State Warriors got that first game. They played tonight. So the Golden State's up 1-0, but no Steph Curry.
And
he's going to probably be out
for at least a week.
Yeah, he's going to be out for at least the next 2 to 3 games. What I'm going to anticipate. So let's see if we get playoff Jimmy Butler to kind of lead the charge. Him and Draymond Green. See how they can carry that.
Right.
If Minnesota doesn't win this series with Steph Curry being out, then we can probably say, you know what, Ant Edwards, you're a couple years away still from getting
Something's
it done.
Something's got to happen.
But if you look through the history of the NBA, though, everybody has to pay their dues. Michael Jordan had to.
Right.
Shaq had to. The only guys they really went in right away and won was Magic and Bird when they first came in the league. Because Magic won, I think they won that first year with Magic.
But they went to some damn good teams already. So
yeah. They really weren't that good. They both catapulted them to become good teams the way they were. They were just, and plus the NBA was a little different at that time. There was also that cocaine era,
right?
Them guys were, there was a lot of drug addicts in the NBA.
The 80s were a hell of a time.
Yeah, it was a hell of a time in the 80s, man. It was like a big cocaine era back in that time of sports. So, so I mean, it's going to be exciting playoffs going forward when it comes to the association. So
I'm surprised, like with some of, especially what's going on in the East. So
I'm just pleasantly surprised, well, not surprised, but happy to see that we actually don't have these guaranteed, we know, of course, that teams have made it.
I'm paying attention, and that really doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, I mean, just the fact that you see people going on and like that, anybody has a chance to win it right now, which usually there's always this team here. Right. We're just waiting to see them match up in the finals.
Who's
right now,
against LeBron.
Yeah, right now,
Curry,
right now we just don't know who's going to have, like, where it's going to end up and how it's going to wrap up. So it's going to be an exciting time in basketball.
I mean, Indiana, New York in an Eastern Conference final will take you back to the 90s.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's a classic rivalry and matchup. Old Reggie Miller going in the Garden, talking shit to Spike Lee, doing the choke sign on him. The 3 3-pointers in a matter of 8 seconds.
Like 10 seconds.
Yeah, it was like 8 seconds, man. That was I remember watching that game. That was a beautiful, beautiful moment in basketball. Just the excitement of that. That's what makes it fun when you see those swings and you realize how good these guys are. Because when you watch these guys play, it's kind of like last night. So we had our little dart league that we play in, it's a totally different. It's one thing to throw when there's no pressure and there's no anything, because like when you watch these guys shoot when they get on warm ups, they're not even like touching the net barely. I mean, it's just straight through stroke. But once those lights come on, once the pressure's going on, and there's actually got to make shots, got to hit shots, it changes everything in the dynamics of how the brain, the body operates in cohesiveness in order to execute and get the job done. So, let's go see what happens.
All right,
let's see what happens. All right. So the next up, what we got here? We got the
Cardinals baseball. Cardinals back to 500.
Yes, 19-19. 19-19. Was it Brendan Donovan? Was he second in majors in batting average, or he's second behind in NL behind batting average behind Pete Alonso.
Okay, well he leads all of baseball in hits right now at 46. So.
But in batting average, he's second in the NL behind Pete Alonso right now. And Aaron Judge is just going crazy.
Yeah,
he's putting up these astronomical.
They're talking numbers. Monster seasons.
Yeah, it's just monster season. He's batting over well over 400 right now. What's he got, like 10 or 11 home runs right now?
I think 11 home runs, 11 like 40 RBIs.
Yeah, just insane. Ridiculous. Just an insane pace is going crazy there. So Cardinals are actually, they're kind of going through what the Blues went through like last year. They
start out slow. Hopefully they're finding their feet.
And did a mixture of that youth movement with some of the veterans that are involved as well with the actions there. So,
the crazy thing is they're just doing it right now with timely hitting because they're not crushing bombs. They're like 18th in major leagues in home runs. Right. Nobody has more than 5.
No.
Like you're talking like lucky if somebody hits 20 home runs for this team this year.
Right. But it's timely hitting right now. I mean, and the bats will heat up because right now it's been really cold.
It's been cold and rainy.
Because and St. Louis is not a hitter's ballpark by any stretch of imagination. So we really need the humidity to kick in for that ball to start really flying out of the ballpark. The biggest concern I think we've talked about the whole season has been the bullpen. The bullpen.
Yeah, and actually it's been good. In the last 10 games, it's actually been really good. They're 7-3 in that last 10. Even they won 5 in a row. So that's tied for the longest streak in baseball right now.
And you know who's actually been good? Who pitched last night against the Pirates? Matthew Liberatore. Who I have not been a fan of, but you know what? Maybe that trade is going to finally come panning through from Randy and Rosarina.
He also still leads the majors in walks per 9 right now. He's dealing out there.
Yeah, he's having a good season. So he's 3-3 record wise, which again doesn't mean anything as far as
he leads the team in ERA with a 3.03. So Liberatore's we're finally seeing
what we traded for and that Randy and Rosarina trade doesn't seem to hurt as bad now.
I think it makes it worse though that he in that rookie season when he came in, it was the playoffs and it's man, look what he could have been doing for us.
Oh yeah, exactly. But that's the anomaly of baseball though. You got 162 games. You get those. Think of it the year the Cardinals won that World Series in what was it? Was it 06 World Series?
06, yeah, the really bad one.
Yeah, the really bad one. Was it David Eckstein was the World Series MVP? Yeah, David Eckstein was World Series MVP.
Against the Tigers, yeah.
Yeah, so the last person you would have thought to be the MVP of that World Series. So, that's just the anomaly of baseball,
So their next 3, you got the Nats this weekend, and then you go to the Phillies, and then after that, you actually take a trip to Kansas City before we come home. So we got a 9-game trip.
Okay, so all right, so
and their road record is awful. They're 4-13 on the road right now.
But Memorial Day, that's when you know. You get to Memorial Day weekend, that's when you usually know what type of baseball team you're dealing with.
All right, well, let's go Cards.
Yeah, let's go Cards. Unfortunately, we can't say "Let's Go Blues" anymore.
No.
But until next year, we got some excitement to look forward to.
That's the great thing about hockey. Before you know it, it'll be September.
Yep, and you'll be back there again.
Be right there.
And we'll be in football season, which I won't really give a shit until about December or January.
Nope, that'll be my purview.
But so speaking of football, we had our monster deal, which would not be only because it's our team that roots for it, but it actually wise everybody follows. George Pickens
being
hey, welcome to Dallas, brother. Welcome to Dallas. This will be an exciting time next year going through. So we have CeeDee Lamb. They didn't get because everybody projected the Cowboys to try and get a big wide receiver during the draft. They didn't reach that. I love the draft pick that they have with the offensive line. They usually do a great job drafting the offensive line. So they got the Tylers across the board on the offensive line now. And so right now we brought in George Pickens to be that secondary receiver to CeeDee Lamb. I think it's going to be some exciting offense there. I like the Stl Blues pick out of Texas, the running back there. So, I mean, they got a lot of firepower, I think, for Dak Prescott to go into this next season.
No, I'm excited as well.
And also Brian Schottenheimer. I mean, they took a lot of crap for getting him, but, I mean, he's a long-time NFL guy. Dad was obviously a Hall of Fame coach. Yep. So, I mean, I think going forward, I think there's going to be a lot of play there as far as what he has to do as far as making moves and going through action-wise. Making the Cowboys go forward. George Pickens, the only thing that worries me a little bit is because he's a little bit of a diva, a little bit of a malcontent to a certain extent. But, I mean, that's most receivers that you kind of deal with on a regular basis in the NFL. Right. I mean, because they have to be. I mean, they do some of the most athletic stuff on a routine basis that nobody sees unless they get the ball.
Oh, that is true because nobody's watching the guy that's not running with it.
Exactly. So, I mean, they might run the best route, get wide open. Quarterback doesn't see him, get sacked or whatever happens, and you run over and over and over again. And somebody who, when my first year of college, before they switched me to the defensive side of the ball, who played wide receiver, the amount of running you do. Like when I moved from wide receiver to linebacker, I sat there and I remember saying, "You motherfuckers don't run at all." I mean, like at all, because like you, I mean,
a little bit there.
You're running within this 10 to 15 yard radius here or there. Maybe do some pursuit angles, do some banging, but outside that, but a receiver, I mean, I'm running flies and posts and flies and just doing individual, just running through the route tree during individual. How much you run is so much different. So these guys, of course, if they don't get the ball and don't get to show off their athleticism. That's why you kind of get that attitude of the diva persona.
I'm open. Throw me the damn ball.
Right, exactly. And you always, obviously, as a competitor, want to make plays and make things happen.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, it's no fun when nobody wants to throw you the ball.
Right, exactly. Or if they just can't get it there to you.
True,
that's the biggest thing. So,
well, Dak doesn't have a problem there.
No,
so, I mean, they should actually have a monster offense.
I think it'll be good. I mean that they still got Jake Ferguson coming back, and like I said, running. I mean, I like what they've made on the moves on the offensive line to solidify it. Like recovering from Zach Martin being gone, they had lost what's his name? I always forget how to pronounce his name. Valdez, who went to the Washington Commanders. So I mean, like they lost their center. So because so the draft pick this year, they're actually going to move and play him at center.
Play him at center.
Yeah, and I liked it. I liked his comment when he said, I like to make people want to quit playing football. As far as like so when you get that nasty attitude for somebody playing center, that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So as long as he can snap that ball in the shotgun, that's the main thing that needs to happen.
Cowboys have to keep up with Washington and Philly, or they'll quickly find themselves down there with the Giants.
You know what? Philly had a lot of turnover, but you know what? The Giants actually did a good. I mean, the Giants had a good offseason as well. I mean, they drafted Abdul Carter.
Yeah, but we still got to see it on the field.
Yeah, we got to see it on the field, but I still think the dude's a stud. I mean, he was a blue chip player.
Well, I mean, the Giants are actually going back to that blueprint, beat the Patriots twice. I mean, beat that line up. Beat
that line up. I mean, so they got a stud defensive line. Then they slid back in to get Jackson Dart. Got Russell Wilson to be a bridge quarterback until Jackson Dart is ready. Jameis Winston there, so there's no pressure for Jackson Dart to have to be thrown in whatsoever.
To do anything.
So
we got Jameis.
Right, exactly. Yep, you got famous Jameis is there. So it's going to be a great division again. I mean, the NFC Beasts are back, baby. The NFC Beasts are back.
All right, just a couple other things. Clowney got released by the Panthers today. So he's backup, edge rusher, specialty.
Yeah.
He's probably got a little left in him.
I mean, he's going to have a job. I mean, he's a pro's pro. I mean, he's going to have a job. A former number 1 overall pick. I mean, he's going to get the job somewhere.
Another thing from the Panthers today, Jonathan Brooks, who tore his right ACL,
out again.
He's going to miss the whole season before it even starts.
Yes, out again. That's a shame.
And then the other thing, the NFL actually releases the schedule next Wednesday.
Nice. Yeah, well, the NFL has to keep their relevancy up, so, schedule releases.
You can go online and find out who they play, home and away games, but the actual actual schedule releases next week.
All right, so we gotta love that schedule release. NFL, like I said again.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, keep their relevancy up to see what's going on. The big marquee matchups and games of the season. So I know that we got the Eagles and Chiefs are playing at some point.
Yeah, the Chiefs are coming down to Dallas at one point, and I don't remember where we're going, but it is some pretty interesting games.
Oh yeah, I mean, in the the AFC West is going to be very interesting too as well going into next season because you got. Obviously, Harbaugh there. You got Pete Carroll there. You got Sean Payton there. So you got a lot of well-coached teams that are going to be in the AFC West in addition to, obviously, the Chiefs. So it's going to be a great season again.
Football's going to be great.
The NFL always does it and does it well. Always does it and does it well.
Yes, they do.
All right. So then I guess the last thing we're going to cover with is that while going backwards to hockey a little bit, is that the Utah Hockey Club are now the Utah Mammoth. The Utah Mammoth.
And I don't know. I think it's kind of goofy, but good on them.
Well, apparently, I was listening to an interview earlier today from Ryan Smith, the owner of the Utah Mammoth. He was saying that apparently there were a lot of woolly mammoth bones that have been found and discovered in Utah. And so that's kind of where some of that led to. They had some cool logo designs the way they did it as far as they went. It kind of
looks like the original Predators logo a little bit.
Little bit. I mean, you see they tucked in the U into the way they curved the tusk and the mountains in the background of the mammoth thing. So I mean, it's some cool gear, some cool wear. So that's welcome to the Hockey League officially now that you're no longer the Utah Hockey Club.
I didn't mind the actual Utah Hockey Club.
Well, that was kind of like nobody minded the Washington football team either.
I didn't mind that either.
We liked it better than the Commanders.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. But, the Mammoth, I think they'll market it well and brand it just fine. So, welcome to Utah. Welcome to the NHL Utah officially.
Finally.
Yeah, welcome to the NHL officially Utah. All right.
Yeah, so that's all I got, brother.
Yeah, that's all I got, brother. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, add to the comments section. Shout out, anything on MotoGP Director Dave?
No, but the Isle of Man is going on.
Oh, the Isle right now?
Yeah, so
the Isle of Man?
Yeah,
the Isle of Man.
Watch one of those guys.
All right,
that stuff's crazy. Dave was showing me some videos of that. That is absolutely
And that's
insane.
about all I will see of it, too, as well. Shout out to Director Dave and the MotoGP. I'm Jason Smoking Token.
I'm Bobby Light.
We'll see you next week.
Peace.